Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone. Last time we stopped at creating tests in both types or both methods. We created Pbt and Cbt, a computer-based test and paper-based test, and also we created it using the manual method, where we select the items and the questions we want in the test manually, and also we tried using the automatic method, where we just create a blueprint or a criteria, and this criteria or blueprint will generate automatically a number of forms as much as we want. Now we will, or today, we are going to see how we are going to publish those tests, both type of tests, and how we are going to run the test on both types, paper-based and computer-based. First, let's start with paper-based. I will go to Test tab in Bank Role module. I am now a bank user. Okay, I will go to Tests. I have number of tests. I can filter those tests or search for the test I want. I will just filter them using this toggle button. I will select Pbt. Now I have those both Pbt tests. I will click on Edit Midterm 2 to publish it. Now I can see that I have two forms. Okay, I have two forms, so I can click on Publish Test. When I click on Publish, I have two options. Quick Publish. Quick Publish will just download a Word file or PDF file for the test, but I want to publish the test to be delivered to the students, so I will click on Advanced Publish. But also in Advanced Publish, I will be able to download the Word file or the PDF file of the test if I want. Okay. As you can see, in this first step, I have two main sides. The left side where I select the source, and in the right side I select the destination. In the source, I select which forms I want to publish from my test. I have, as you can see, multiple forms. Do I want to publish both forms or just one of them? I will select both forms. Okay. In destination, I select where do I want to publish this test. So I want to publish it on a specific course and on a specific assessment on this course. I will click on a destination. First, I select the faculty. Then I can select the term and the course. As you can see, they are automatically selected because there is no other term or there is no other course. If I have more than one course and I can publish tests on them, I will be able to see all the courses that I have this privilege on here. Okay, I will select the course. Now I can select one of the assessments. Here are the Pbt assessments I have on my course. So I will select, for example, let's say this one, and I will click OK. Okay, now I am publishing a test on a test that has already 3 forms published on it before. I have already Form 1 and Form 3 and Form 2 published on this test. If it was empty, if it was a new test, then I wouldn't be have to do the following step. The following step is to change the form's name. I have to change those forms' name because they are already there. I have already form called Form 1 and another one called Form 2. So to change those forms, I don't have to close and change the form name. No, I can just click on this form name and I will be able to change the form name and code automatically. Okay, now I can change the form. Let's give it a 4. Okay, and the other one I will call it 5. Okay, now I can publish them normally. And the test or the assessment in the course owner module will have then 5 forms, those 3 ones and the 2 I'm going to publish. Down there I have print test page switch. If I turn it on, I will have a new step, print configuration. I will switch it on if I want to download a Word file for this test at the end of these steps. So we will see now. I switched it on. I will click on Next. Now, because I am publishing from a test on my bank to a test that have already published form before, I have to do this step, mapping section. I have to map section 1 to section 1 and section 2 to section 2, or I can just click on auto assign. It will auto assign them directly, section 1 to the 1 and 2 to the 2. If I am publishing again, if I am publishing on an empty assessment that has no forms yet, then I will not have this step, mapping session, and I will go directly to the following step. I can change the test duration from here, but I want it to be 30 minutes, so I will click next. As you can see, this is the extra step, print configuration step. In this step, I can set the configurations of the answer, for the question sheet. I will print now the questions sheet, so I can select, for example, a specific font for all the questions on the item, or I can just use the font I used when I created the items. I can select the type of the file to be downloaded, Word or PDF. I want it to be Word so I can edit it easily. I can select the option style even. Do I want it to be ABC or Alif Behjim for Arabic, or 1 2 3? I will select the option style to be ABC. I can set all those configurations. Even the header and the footer, I want to change this header. I want it to be like this. Let's say King Khalid University. Okay. Let's put here, I want to put here the test name. Okay, I can type the test name myself, or I can just click on this field. It will just add the test name directly. I want to add also the form name. If I have multiple forms, I want each form to have its title or its label here. So I will add the form name from here. Okay, I can add all those fields. In footer, I can, let's say thank you. Okay, I will put it in the center, I will make it bold. I can change the size, I can do whatever I want. Even if I have it already on Word, I can just copy and paste it here. Okay, now the configurations are ready. I can click next. Now, as I am a normal user, on Assessment Gourmet, not using university account, so I have to insert here the password. But you are not going to need to do this step. You are already a university user, so you will not have this step. You will just click finish without inserting the password. I'll click finish. Okay, now I am done with publishing. Now the forms I published are already in the delivery module. I can see them through the course owner module. I can start working on them and test the student on them. And also, as you can see, it opened a browser, so I can download the forms. As you can see, this is a zip file because I published multiple forms, so it downloaded a zip file, contains all the forms that I have published. I will click save, and let's go to the folder. Okay, here is the file that I downloaded. I will extract it. Okay. Okay, now the forms, form 1 and 2, they are extracted, and here are the forms that I published. Let's open form 1, for example. Here is form 1, the header as I added. Here is King Khalid University, I added in the first, then the test name and the form name, then the section, first section title and all the items, then the second section, as you can see, here is the second section, and all the items under it. As you can see, it's a Word file. I can just do whatever I want. For example, I want it to be aligned to the right. Okay, here. I can do whatever I want in this Word file. Then I can print it as the question sheet. Okay. Now I published the PPT. I published the paper-based test. I downloaded even the question sheet. I can go now and start managing the test process. But before going to course owner, let's check published test page. In published tests page, I can see all the published process I have made. Okay, here is all the tests I have in my bank. Let's go to this one, midterm 2. This is the one I have published minutes ago. Okay, now it tells me that I published it all those times, and I can select or go to any one of them. For example, this is the one I published now. I can click anytime on download. Download button will just let me download the file again. I can download again the file to view it. For example, here is a previous publish that I did. If I clicked on download, as you can see, it just download a Word file, because in this publish I downloaded or I published only one form, so it's publishing a Word file directly, not a zip file. Okay, let's go now to course owner module. I will just change my role to course owner. Okay, I select the year, then the faculty. If I have multiple faculties, or if I am assigned to multiple faculties, I will select the faculty, and also select the course I want to work on. I can work on physics. Okay, now I want to start managing the test process. It's going to be a paper-based test. First, I can go to delivery. Here I have all the type of the tests: Pbt, quiz, Cbt. I can go to configure the test. By the way, you don't have to do this step. The test will be already configured to the default values, but you can check all the configurations if you want. I will click on configure. Configure will open a configurations page. I can check all the configurations I want. You can try them. You can make sure that you understand all of them. And of course, in the face-to-face training sessions, you will understand more. We are going now to use the method of that I want to return to the system and import the student responses or student scores. I'm going to test the students on bubble sheet, this red bubble sheet. I will test the students on them. Then I will scan the student sheets, answer sheets. I will scan on them, for example, using the Scantron scanner or any other scanner that can scan the bubble sheet. Then this scanner will export an Excel file or CSV file. This file has all the students' responses or scores. I can use this file and import it directly to Assessment Gourmet. How we are going to do this? Let's check now. First, in configurations, I have to check this scoring setup tab. It's the most important one of them, to check how I'm going to import the responses of objectives items and subjectives. For example, in objectives items, MCQ, true or false, multiple response, how do I want to import the response? Am I going to import the responses or the scores? So am I going to import that student number 1 solved with A, B, C, and D? Or I want to import that the student got 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and so on. So I will select for objectives, I will select responses. For subjectives, I will select score, not image clips or responses. Image clips are the responses of essay questions, but are like image clip. It's an image that cut to the student response on this question. I will select scores, so for essay questions, I will just import the scores directly. Okay, now I will click save to save these configurations. Okay, now I can go to create a new scheduling. To create a scheduling, I have to go to registration. Okay, I have to make sure that I'm selecting the course or the test or the assessment that I want to schedule on it. I'm selecting it already. Okay, midterm 2. Then I can click add. Here I can see a list of scheduling that I created before. I can check all the scheduling by filtering using all status. Okay. Then it will load all the scheduling I created for this test. Okay, by default it shows me only the scheduled schedulings, but now I show all the statuses, scored and scheduled, finished, and even if it's in progress or so on. I will go back to selecting only one status, scheduled. Okay, I will create a new scheduling. I can give it a name or I can leave it empty if I want. Okay, I have to select start date. It will be today. I will make it after 1 hour. Then I can select the building. Okay, where I'm going to test those students. I will select the building and the room, and I can select any cheap proctor. It's not actually going to affect anything because the proctor here, it's just a paper-based test where I will import the responses and scores, so it doesn't matter selecting the proctor now. I can click on save and assign the scheduling and then assign students to this test session. I'll select 3 of them, okay, and now I have only one step more to configure this scheduling and be ready to import the scores. Okay, I will go to delivery again, but now this time on manage session. Okay, in manage session I can see all the sessions I created before. I can filter the session, let's say by using the assessment plan list. Okay, I selected only this assessment, so it gave me only this assessment scheduling. And now I have this session we created. Okay, it have an automatic label as you can see because I left it empty. It created using the course name, then the test name, and even the medical, which is the name of the lab. Okay. Okay, now I can click on configure. Just configure the session means that I have to select the forms I want to use in this session. So I will select only this form because I have no other form. If I have multiple forms in this test published, I can select from them. I will click on mark as configured and click save. Ready to import all the scores or responses on this test. Okay, how can I do this? I will just go to scoring. Okay, in scoring I am now in Pbt responses. I have to select the test from here. Okay, and then it will give me all the sessions or the schedulings on this test. This is our scheduling, okay, that we created. I have 3 students here. Here are the 3 students. Okay, now I have the configurations of the file that I am going to import. Okay, let's say that the scanner has exported the file of student responses or student scores, and it doesn't look how I want it to be imported. It doesn't matter. Let's see a sample of these files. Okay, here is a sample of the file. I have here this file. Let's delete those columns just to tell you which columns that I need. Okay, in imported file, if I want to import the responses or scores, I only need student ID, the ID of the students. Maybe I can add the form code if I want. It's not required, it's just optional. And also I have to add the responses of questions or the scores. Okay, as you can see, here are some MCQ questions. I imported or added the scores. The scanner gave me the scores. And for the AC questions, the scanner gave me the score. Sorry. In MCQ question, I have the responses, not the scores. I have the responses. And in these AC questions, question number 11, I have the scores, not a response. Okay, I have the scores for AC and responses for MCQ and also responses for think it was true or false. Okay. So let's say that the scanner gave me a file looks like this. I will add another column. Let's say that it has a student name, for example, student 1 and so on. Okay, maybe another column before it also has a test name and so on. Test. Okay, what if the scanner has some columns that I don't want to use? Okay, it's not a fixed template that I have to use. I can use any file that the scanner will export, but I can adjust the system to understand how I'm going to import the file. So, for example, I will tell the system that the first row in this file, it will be considered as header. Okay, I switched it on. So the first column in this file, yes, it will be considered as header. So the system will ignore this row. It will just don't expect student response in this row, and will start taking student response from the second row. So in this case, yes, the second row I will start taking the student response in row number 3, the second student, and in row number 4, the third student. Okay, what else? I can also, for example, select the option style. What will be the options style? Will it be ABC 1 2 3 or Alif B Jim for Arabic? I will select ABC. Okay. Now the most important step in adjusting the file or adjusting the system to understand the file, I will tell the system where to find the student ID. So in my file here that is exported from the scanner, the student ID is on A, the column number A. So I will select A. The system tells me where do I expect to find the form code. I will tell him in column number B. Yes, it's in column number B, so system will take the information of the form from column number B. In first item, where I can find the first item. Let's see, here it's not here, it's in column number E. So I will tell the system to find the first item or the first response in column number E. Automatically, the system will know where to find the last item. Sorry, it has to refresh. Let's give it time. Sorry, I had a slow internet, but now when I change it to E, okay, automatically it would understand that the last item will be in P, because system knows already how much items I have in this test. So selecting first item in E, okay, means that the last item will be in P. Let's check. First item in E, and the last one, yes, already on P. Okay, now I'm ready to import the file, but before uploading the file, I want to change some value here. I will insert a wrong student number. Okay, this number is wrong. It's not a student from the 3 students I have to import their results. I will try to browse, select the file and import it. Okay, now it's telling me that it's in progress. Now I have a failed result. I will click here on failed, click for more details. Okay, it tells me that in row number 4 I have invalid student ID. Let's check. It's row number 4. Yes, I don't have this ID in my student list in this session. I can correct it. Okay. This of course applies on any other cell. For example, if I inserted here instead of A, B, C, I inserted Alif, Ba, Jim for Arabic, or 1, 2, 3, or I inserted an out value. For example, let's say in essay question, this question, the maximum score is 4. What if I inserted 5 or 6 or 7? It will tell me that I can't insert this score for this item because the maximum score is 4. Okay, so I will save now the file after correcting this issue, and I will upload it again. I will click on browse, select the file after changing it, and import again. Now everything is okay. It's imported. As you can see, all the responses are correct. The system use 1, 2, 3 as options. Sorry. So ABC will be converted automatically to 1, 2, 3. Alif, Ba, Jim for Arabic will be converted also to 1, 2, 3. So don't worry, they are the correct answer. We can check even them. 1, 2, 3 for the first questions means here A, B, C. Here in the second question, D means 4, C means 3, 1, A means 1. So it's should to be 4, 3, 1. Let's check. It's 4, 3, 1. Even the essay question, here it has the scores 3, 2, 0. Yes, here in the file it had 3, 2, 0. So now the file is imported. I can now finally click on start scoring. So the system knows that I am done. I imported all the file. Maybe I'm going to import more than one file for all the students. Maybe the files I have I have a partial files. Let's say a file for half of the students and another file for the other half. I can import more than one file. Then I can finally click start scoring, so the system knows that I am done and I can start scoring now. As you can see here, I have the importing methods, importing objectives for importing responses, and for the subjective I am going to import scores. Okay, now I can insert a title for the scoring session. I will call it scoring session demo 7 and click next. Here I have multiple schedulings I made on this test. I can select the scheduling I want to work on, or I can select multiple scheduling, by the way, but I will select just this one. I will click next, and I have here some information. For example, I have 3 students. Each one had 12 questions in the test. It means that I have 36 responses on this test. I click next. Now I can click on finish. So the system will start the scoring processes, and then I can directly go to export the results reports. Okay, now I'm done. I can go to reports page. I have multiple reports, of course, but let's see, for example, that this report 320, it's called student scores. I can select the assessment, let's say this one, and even I can filter in a specific duration or a specific test session, but I want all the test sessions, so I will click search. It will give me here in this table all the students scores, of course. Okay, I have student code, the student name, the form that the student tested on, and the raw score, which is the score of the test paper. So, for example, the test paper was from 10 points. The student got 8.5 from 10 points. And those 8.5 represents 34 from the total course score, okay? And here is the percentage of this score. I can click on generate report, or I can click on export Excel to export an Excel file directly. Or in generate report, I can download this file in any extension, for example, PDF, Excel, or document for Word, or even I can download it as image. Okay, and of course I have a count of reports. Other reports, you can download it and check all of them. Okay, now we are done with the PPT, or the paper-based test, and we saw how we can run it, how we can score it. Now let's see how we can do the same for the CPT, the computer-based test. I will go back to the bank user role. Select bank and click done. I'll go to tests, and this time I will select a CPT or a computer-based test. So here is one of them. I'll click on edit to publish it. The same steps as before. I will just click on publish and select the destination and publish the test. No any more detail. So now I can click on publish test. I'll select the forms I want to publish, or only one form from them. I will select the destination. Same steps as in PBT. I will select it. This time it gives me only the CBT assessments. So I will select one of them. I will select CBT demo 3. So if you can't see the assessment you want to publish on, make sure that it matches the type. If you are going to publish a CBT, make sure that this assessment is CBT type. If you are going to publish a PBT, make sure that this assessment is a PBT type. So I will select this one and click OK. Okay, now I have the source forms and the destination where I want to publish on. can click next. This time I'm going to publish on an empty assessment. I can change the time of the duration of the test. For example, let's make it 30 minutes. I can check all the configurations I selected for this test, and then I can click next to finish those steps. As before in Pbt, I will insert here the password, but as I told you, you will not be required to insert the password. You can just click finish. Now I am ready. I can go to the CBT. I will select the course owner role, select the course, and I can go again to delivery, but this time on CBT, because I published or I want to work on a computer-based test, not a paper-based. Okay, here is a list or some cards of the CBT assessments I have. I will select, for example, this one. This the test that we are going to try. I can set some configurations here. Let's check, for example, sections configurations. I can select if I want to shuffle the sections or not, the navigation mode between sections. Do I want the student to be able to go back again to a section that he finished already? If I want to allow this, then select traversal, or forward only if you want to prevent the student from going back to the sections that he has already finished. The same for each section. You can prevent students from going back to a finished item. So for example, this section will be forward only. It means that the student can go back to a question that he has already answered. Okay, in proctoring, we have some configuration, but this one is the most important one of them. You have been asked a lot for the auto start test feature. Now you can select it to be turned on. So if auto start is selected to be turned on, the test will start automatically at the time. So for example, if I created a test and I said it should start at 10 p.m., then at 10 p.m. any student can log into the test until the max late time will finish. For example, if it is 15 minutes, then after 15 minutes from the 10 p.m., no students will be able to log into the test. So as a proctor, you don't have to start the test manually. You don't have to do it yourself. You can just let the system start the session for you. Okay, after finishing, I can click on save and publish. Then you can go and start scheduling your session. So same steps as I did before. I published the test as I did in Pbt. I came to delivery to check the configurations as I did in Pbt. Now I'm going to create a scheduling as I did in Pbt already. I will select the test I want. So let's say this one, okay. Then I'll click on add to create a new scheduling. So let's create the scheduling or the test session. This time I will add a title or a label. Test session. Okay, the test date, the start time of the test. Let's make it, for example, okay, after 10 minutes. And the end time will be set automatically because the system already knows the duration of this test. I will, this time, this test is from home, so I don't have to select a specific lab. I have just to select the number of the students I'm expecting, so let's give it 10. I have to select a chief proctor. I will select myself, okay, this user that I'm logged in with. And I have also assistant proctors. What is the difference between chief proctor and assistant proctors? Let's say that I have not only 10 students, I will have 200 students in this session. Of course, I will not be able as a proctor to manage this session myself. I can't monitor all the 200 students myself. I have to assign some assistants assistant proctors, let's say 4 of them. Okay, each one of them I will assign, let's say 50 students to each assistant proctor. I can add more if I want, so I will select count of students for each proctor so they can help me. So proctor number 1 will only be able to monitor the 50 students or the number of students I will assign to him, and the same for proctor number 2 and 3 and 4. But as a chief proctor, I can see and monitor all the students. Okay, I will make it back to 10, but I will keep the assistant proctors as they are now. I will click on save and assign again. In Pbt, it will save the scheduling and will let me able to assign students to this session. As you can see now, I can start assigning the students. I will select those ones. Any number of students I can assign. Okay, I can use, of course, the filter on the left to filter the students, but I will select only those students and click. Now the students are assigned already to my test. If I want to send the students an email to tell them that this test is that they are scheduled to a specific test or this test, and the email can tell them the time of the test, the name of the test, the name of the course even, I can do it, but I have to just select the students, or I can select all and click on send email to send an email to all the students that are assigned or I have selected them here. Okay, now what should I do? As I did before in Pbt, I will go to delivery to configure this session or to select the forms I want to publish or use in this session. So I will go to delivery. This time I will have multiple forms. I have on this test, I have published 2 forms already. So I have 2 forms to select from them. I will select to use one form or both of them in the test. Let's see what I'm going to do. So as I did before, I will go to manage session. To manage my test session, I have the list of the scheduling. I will select this one we created now, the Pbt one, and of course I will click on configure session. Configure session will open this pop-up where I select the forms, but because it's a Pbt or a computer-based test, I will have an extra step, which is selecting the maximum start time for the proctor. If it is not an automatic start test where the test will start automatically without a proctor, I can select the maximum start time. Let's say if the proctor has an accident or he can't open the test at the actual time or the scheduled time, what or how many minutes I will give him as tolerance to be able to start the test. Let's say that the test should start at 10:25. I will give him some minutes, let's say 10 minutes, extra 10 minutes. So the proctor can start the test from 10:25 to 10:35. Okay, I can here select the forms that I want to use in this test that will be published to the students in this test. The maximum start time, the max late time for the students, let's say it will be 10 minutes, only 10 minutes for the students. So any student that is late more than 10 minutes, he will not be able to start the test. And this time, by the way, I can change and adjust during the test process. So during the test, I can change this time so I can allow any late student to come and start the test again. I will click on configure or mark this session configuration to be configured and click save. Now this session is configured, not scheduled. It will be configured, as you can see. We added a new feature. Maybe some of you that have tried the system before and tried testing the students before, you used to change the role to proctor to see the proctor module and start managing the test session. But now, if you are the proctor, if you are the course owner who created the session and you are also the proctor, you can click directly on proctor session. It will take you to the proctor role. You don't have to change the role. You can just click on proctor session and it will take you to the proctor. So now I am in the Proctor module. I can set the test to be ready to start, so the students can log in anytime, but they can't start the test yet. When they are going to be able to start the test, at the test start time I set it to be 10:25, so no student can start the test before 10:25. It will start automatically. Yes, the first students start the test will start the session automatically. So we can wait some time for the test so it can be started automatically, and during this time we can check the tabs we have here. I have general tab where I can see the list of the students they are going to test. I have seen some dashboards here. I can select students tab, so I will have here a card for each student. This card will have the information of the progress when the students start the test, when they are going to finish, and what is the time remaining for them. I can even monitor the students if I want to see the progress of his answering the questions. I can go to Proctor tab. In Proctor tab, I can do it actually before starting the test. I can distribute the test among I can distribute the students among the proctors. So I have here 4 students and I have some proctors. I can select, let's say, just 2 proctors. They are going to help me. I have 4 students, and I want each proctor to have 2 of the students. So I will click distribute. It will distribute them automatically. I can do it, or I can add a group and start assigning a proctor for this group and assign students. I will just do it automatically and let the system distribute the students. I will select both proctors and click distribute. As you can see now, first proctor have 2 students here and the second one have 2 students. So if those proctors logged in to Assessment Gourmet now, they will be able to proctor and monitor only their students. They will not be able to see any other students. Okay, let's go to student view and see how the student will be able to see the test. Okay, here is some instructions and information. How can I download the secure browser if my test requires a secure browser, and the student can go directly to active tests. Here the test have 10 seconds to start. I can go to view test page. Okay, it will start now. And as you remember, I didn't start the test session from the proctor rule. I didn't do it as a proctor. It will start automatically when the students start the test. Okay, so let's go back again to the session. It's not started yet. If I refreshed, it hasn't been started yet. So I will go again as a student and click on start test. Then the student will be able to start the test now automatically without waiting for the proctor to start the test manually. Okay, it depends on the internet connection. It may take some time. Now, if I have instructions here, I will see all the instructions. For example, I just typed 1, 2, 3 as instructions. As a test creator, I can add any instructions I want. Even if I want to add media file like video, audio file, or pictures, I can add them in the instructions. The students will be able to see some steps and helper to see how he will take the test. Okay, I can click on skip instructions. Now I can click on start test. It started automatically. Now I can take the test without waiting for the proctor to start the test manually. Okay, in the first section we said that it's going to be forward only, which means that the student won't be able to go back again to questions that he already answered. So let's start the section. Okay, now I'm in question number 1. I will select any of the answers or options and I will click next. As you can see now, I don't have the ability to click on previous. I can't go back to the previous questions, and even in the list on the left, I can't click on this section again. It's locked now because I'm in a forward only section. So I will keep answering the questions. Let's do anything. Okay. As you can see, also I have here the filters. I have 13 of all questions. I have 8 of them that are unseen. I haven't seen them yet. I have one unanswered question, which is the one I am on now. It's unanswered. I haven't answered it yet. And I have 0 bookmarks. We will see the bookmarks in section number 2 because I can't use bookmark in a forward only section because I can't go back to the questions anyway. So it doesn't matter if I have bookmark or no because I already can't go back. I will, this is a sample for a match list item. I will start dragging the options to the correct places. For example, let's do this. Or I can just click on the image or the option and click where I want to put it. I will click here and I can click next. Now I am in the 6 questions. It's actually a scenario, a video scenario questions. What does it mean? It means that I have a scenario here. It have a video. So the video, I can play the video and watch it. So I can play the video.
Waves.
As you can see,
One of the first things we need to know about waves.
I can close the review panel if I want to give me some space. I can even move this separator to give space for the scenario, or I can give the space for the item. I can answer the item. As
there are 2 different types of wave. One,
the video continue playing even if I selected another item because both items are linked to the same scenario. If it was reading, listening, or video as we have now, only the items is changed and the scenario is fixed. So click next. I finished the section number 1 now. I can click on submit section answers. Okay, now I can open again the review panel. Now I'm in section number 2. This is a reading scenario, but it's linked to a essay question. I will type my answer here. Okay, I'll click next. The same reading scenario, but another question, true or false. Here is a sample of questions. Sorry, it's in Arabic. It's a closed list where I have some blanks, and for each blank I select an answer from the list. Here is a short answer. My answer will be just a simple text, word or 2 words, or even number. So let's say the answer is any of the. Okay, now I have a multiple response item. The student can answer or select more than one response. So I will select those response, for example, and I can click on next. Same closed list question, and I can click next. Of course, here I can see the progress of my answering. I have 12 questions that I have answered and only one that haven't answered it yet. I can click on next. Now a summary for the questions in the test. I had 13 questions. I have 0 unseen. I have 12 unanswered questions, and I have 1 unanswered, and I have 0 bookmarks. Let's go back to see what is bookmarking. I will open review panel. As a student, for example, I have 100 questions or more, and of course I can't remember which one I want to go back to review, so I can add just a bookmark here, clicking bookmark. This bookmark will leave a mark on this question, so I can go back to it anytime if I want to review it. So let's say that I bookmarked those 2 questions. After finishing the test, I can go back and filter by using bookmarks. It will give me only the bookmarked questions. I can review them all. Then I can go back to all questions if I want. And anytime I can click on finish, or just click next to the end of the test, or I will click on finish test to finish it. Let's say one thing before finishing the test. Let's say that I have a crashed browser. The browser crashed or the computer crashed and I had to restart. Now I want to continue the test, but as a course owner in the configurations, I didn't allow the auto restore. The student can't restore the test session automatically. He has to wait. So as you can see now, the student is waiting. I give him this timer. I'm telling him that you are waiting for 27 seconds for now, and this is the trial number 1 for you to restore. Restoring means that the student will continue the test from where he stopped. So let's go back to the Proctor. I will refresh. As you can see, the session now is running. Okay, I have 3 late students and I have 1 in progress student. This one has an issue. I have here a hand icon. I can click on it. It will give me some summary about the students, when did he start the session, how many items he solved. So for example, some universities have a policy. If the students have already solved, let's say 85% from the test, then he can't restore the session, he can't continue the test. I will consider that he already finished the test, so I will just click on terminate. Terminate will end the test session for the students. Or I can approve the request, the restoring request. I'll click approve and go back to the students. Then the test will shortly start or continue for the students. As you can see now, yes, automatically it took me again to the page where the students stopped before. I can click on submit final answer now to finish the test, or the proctor can end the test himself for the students. As you can see now, the late students became absent. Why? Because the 10 minutes we decided that it will be the max late time for the students has passed. So no student can log in now and start the test. Okay, so I will go to students. In this card, we can take some actions on the student. I can monitor the students to see more details about his progress in the test. And I can also click on end test or take an action or write a comment on the student. I will just end the test to this student. I have to select an action. While I'm ending it, I can have more than those 2 actions, and I have to add reason. Let's say he's cheating. I want to end the test to this student because he's cheating. I'll click on terminate. Terminate will end the test session to the student. Let's go again. I will try to go to any questions. Oh, it gives me this message. I can't do anything in the test and I have just to close the browser. It tells me that the test has stopped because the proctor ending this test, and also it gives me the reason. Why did the proctor ended the test for me? It tells me cheating because I was cheating. Okay, I'll go back to the proctor. Now, anytime after finishing the test, it doesn't have to be directly after the test end. I can come to the system anytime as a proctor and click on submit. Submitting will just send the responses to the server and start scoring them. By clicking submit, I am telling the system that the session is finished, all the students in this session has tested, and now I can start scoring. So I will click submit. Okay, now the session is submitted. Okay, what if I have only objectives items in this session? Let's say only MCQ and true or false questions. The system will start scoring automatically, and I can directly go and import the export the results reports. But in this case, I had a question that it was AC question. I have to score it or rate it manually. So how can I rate this response on this question? Let's see. It will be the last step before exporting the scores like we did in Pbt. I will go to as course owner now. I will just close all these tabs. I will go as course owner now and go to scoring. In scoring, I want to go to scoring sessions. I want to create scoring sessions so the raters can start rating this session and start rating the essay responses. I click on scoring session. Okay, I have to select first the assessment from the assessment plan list. This is the assessment that I have been testing on. I will click on create session. I will give a name to this session. Let's say okay, next. I have here some scheduling on the same test. I will select one of them, the one we will use where we have been using. I'll click next. Okay. Now I have to set some configuration for the scoring session. For example, if I want to add double scoring configuration, double scoring, what does it mean? It means that I will give the responses of the students to two raters, not only one, two or more raters. So each response will be rated by two raters, and I can select the action. What if there is a difference between the scores of those two raters? I can calculate the average, calculate the load score or the height score, or I can give it to a third rater to judge it, or I can give it to the third rater to give another score, or whatever of any of those actions. I can select the percentage of the students I want to apply double scoring on them. So, for example, if I selected 100%, then all the student responses will be applied to double scoring. Or I can just close it. I will just use normal scoring on only one rater. So those are the raters on my course. They are assistants on my course. I can select any of them, or I can select just myself. This is myself. It will be selected automatically. I will turn on show items to raters, so the raters will be able to see the stem. I will turn it on. They will see the stem while they are rating the response. I will click next and just click finish. So I created the session, and I am the rater who can rate the responses, so I can go directly now to scoring tasks. The rater, if it's not me, the rater can go also to the same page, scoring tasks. The rater will be able to see the session or the scoring session card on this page. Okay, as you can see now, and I can just go inside it by clicking on the title, and I can select start scoring. Start scoring or start score will redirect me to this page. As you saw in the test, I had only one AC question, so I have here only one. It tells me that remaining items are 1. It gives me elapsed time, how many minutes and seconds I spent scoring the items. Okay, so I just have to select a score from these scores and click submit. Submit to submit this score on this response. I have here the response of the students. If I want to see the stem, I can open it, and this is the stem of the question. The rubrics, I had rubrics on this question. The student will get 0 if he didn't provide a correct answer. The student will get 1 if he did, for example, added only one reason. The student will get 2 if, and so on to 4. So depending on this rubric, I will be able to add a score or rate this response. Of course, I can zoom this response if I want to see it better, and then I can add the score. Okay, I will click submit to submit this answer, or I can click on skip to skip rating this one now and go to it later after submitting the other scores. I will click submit. Okay, because I have only one question, it will take me out. Now I can, when I click on start scoring, it tells me that there are no pending tasks. I am done as a rater. So I will go back to scoring, the same page of scoring sessions. Now the scoring session is finished. All the raters has finished. If I even opened it, I will click on it as scoring in scoring session page. I will open it to see the status of each task. How many tasks are pending, how many of them are completed. Okay, I have here the number of raters. It was only one, it was only me. Okay, total number of tasks 1, completed tasks 1, and no pending tasks. So as a course owner, I can now finish the session. I can finish it from here or from out there on the card. I can click on actions and then click on finish. Okay, finishing the session means the same as in Pbt. I finished the scoring session means that this session now is scored. The system scored the objective items automatically, and now I give it the scores also of the AC questions. So if I went to reports, I will be able to export the reports the same as I did before in Ppt. That was all.